Hello and welcome back to RedditRead, a channel where we read Reddit stories and talk about them a little bit. No AI voices here. I read all the stories myself. And today's theme is all about karma. I don't know if you've heard, but karma's a bitch. You should have known better.
Ooh. Ooh.
Jojo Siwa, if you're watching, thank you. I'm sure you are. I don't like you. Anyways, but like, it's about karma today. Karma's a bitch. Everyone knows it. You've probably had karma done on you before. You've probably seen karma done on somebody else before. I don't know if that's the correct terminology,
I
but
don't know
whatever.
either.
This whole intro is fucked. So we're
just move on.
We're just gonna move on. We're here to read Reddit stories. We're not here to talk about JoJo Siwa for 4 hours. So okay, the first story comes from Best of Redditor Updates. Originally posted in relationship advice and am I the asshole? My girlfriend's inheritance is changing her and making our relationship worse. We had an inheritance one last time, didn't we? And it was
yeah, the grandma didn't leave the dad or
oh yeah. So inheritance changes people. So
yeah, money
let's
does.
see. Posting from throwaway because I don't want my girlfriend to see I'm seeking an advice. If she ever checks out my main account, my girlfriend's parents are divorced and her father passed away at the end of the year. She was his only child, so she inherited most of his assets, which was a lot because her father was a wealthy man, at least to my standards. The problem started after she took care of all the formalities regarding the inheritance. We moved in together, which made me happy because we've been together for 4 years already. At first, I thought that the apartment we moved in was grammar, because we didn't speak much about her father's fortune. But it turned out that it was just one of 5 apartments that she inherited. I asked her why she would withhold this information from me, and she told me that she hadn't thought that this would be so important, and she decided to either sell or rent the rest of the apartments. It made me feel kind of uneasy. If we are together for so long and we've both decided to move in together, then shouldn't we both discuss and choose which apartment to move into? She apologized though, so I left it at that, but it didn't end here. I later learned that she also inherited a house that she has sold without consulting me. She argued that she wanted to give the money to her mom so she could live comfortably, but I don't believe that anyone would just sell a freaking house to give money to someone else. That's pure BS. Another thing that is making me confused is how she just doesn't want to share. Her father left a car and lots of electronics like a MacBook, and she just claimed it without even asking if I need a new laptop or something. I'm not expecting her to not use her inheritance, but we've been together for 4 years. She knows that I was thinking about buying a new laptop. It would be nice if she at least asked. I also thought that she would at least let me drive the new car, but she's just starting to brag about how it's her car. About how it's her first car, etc. She's not even driving it because she prefers to take a bus or walk to most places. She also wants to split bills evenly, even though I know she has a lot more money now, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't even need my share of payment. I asked her about it, and she actually got kind of mad at me this time. Told me that we are not married or anything, and I shouldn't just expect her to give her whole inheritance to me. So yeah, just usual over-emotional woman BS. Because that's not... that's funny. Because that's not what I asked for at all. I told her that I just feel left out because she's deciding what to do with the apartments herself. And then she's just claiming the car and the MacBook while I'm here too. She just doesn't want to understand. She actually argued that this is exactly why she never told me about her father's wealth, as if I was a gold digger or something. How do I make her realize that her selfishness may break us apart? I feel like it's harder and harder for me to commit when I know that there are people out there who would be way more caring in a relationship than her. I was thinking about suggesting couples therapy because I love her and I don't want to break up, but she has to realize that she is not alone and I should be involved in the discussion or decisions she's making. You know, all that woman BS, you know what I'm talking about.
That killed me.
Killed me. I was trying to make it all the way through without laughing at something this guy said, but I had to break there because that's just insane. Oh, I forgot to say the ages. So the guy's 24, the girl's 25. I can see the thing about the apartments because they moved into one of them and they had 5 that they could have moved into, and she didn't even mention the other one. So I can understand that one a little bit. But all this all this other stuff is just like it's her inheritance. It's not yours. And I understand
Exactly.
like you're together and like whatever, but clearly, and she even said this, there's clearly a reason that she didn't even want to tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why.
Yeah.
Everything you wrote in this post is
I just think it's so crazy. He was like, she even got his MacBook and she didn't even ask me if I wanted it.
That's crazy.
It's not your dad. Your dad is not the one that died. It was his MacBook.
It's like, babe, I can't, why didn't you, how could you not ask me if I wanted a new laptop?
And why
I can't
won't you
believe
let me have the car? Okay.
And his excuse for the car is like, well, she doesn't even use it. She just walks and takes the bus anyway. So I'm like, okay, so that entitles you to have it.
Yeah. It's like it wasn't your dad.
Yeah, it's not
your money.
dad. This is not your money. This is not your stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If this guy wasn't so like self-centered, she would probably have shared some of this stuff with him.
Yeah.
But she's not because she knows that he's like this.
Exactly.
And he just wants everything to be for him.
Once he said the MacBook thing, I literally was like, oh my God. He's evil.
Yeah.
This is just the entitlement.
Yeah.
And then the woman comment, oh my God. Sounds like he's being the emotional one. He's mad that his girlfriend, whose father just died, is not giving him stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about the fact that like her father died and she's grieving. He's just like, I want the MacBook.
And the car. And the money. She wants to split bills? I know she has hella bank. Okay. She's right. You're not married. It's not marital assets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys are just dating. And clearly you guys need to break up.
Yeah, and clearly you're not going to get married, so
no.
it's not going to become marital assets.
No. Literally, not at all.
And I think she sees that this isn't going to last, so that's probably why she didn't like tell him about any of this. I bet you she was planning on breaking up with him soon anyways.
Oh, probably.
If this is how he freaking acts. But they've been together for how long did he say? 4 years. I think after 4 years she's probably realized what type of person he is.
Well, this is probably just like, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I hope this is the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
And just reading the title of the next update, you know, I'm hoping this is the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Jesus.
Because what this guy does next is...
No.
Okay, I don't understand the full context, but just from the title, I'm like... Anyways, the first update for this is another post from OP. The first post was in relationship advice. This second post is in Am I the Asshole?
Oh, Jesus.
So this one, the title is... Would I be the asshole if I report my girlfriend's mother for tax evasion? I don't know if that has to do with the inheritance or if this is just some kind of revenge plot because he didn't get anything. Let's see. So he says, from what I understood, monetary gifts are considered income in certain cases if the tax wasn't paid already by the one who gifted the money, for example. My girlfriend paid inheritance tax, but I don't think it's the same as income tax. I would need to consult a lawyer on this. I believe that the exact amount of the gift is way above the taxable threshold as it was money from my girlfriend's father's house, which was a lot. I'm not sure, but I know my mother-in-law. She believes that I'm after my girlfriend's inheritance and money. I caught her telling my girlfriend that I'm not worthy, greedy, gold digger. She is projecting her own wrongdoings onto me. It's important to me because my girlfriend is naive and she believes she did the right thing. I don't think she did. Okay, so that's that post, and there's some comments. This is the key comments, apparently. Mm-hmm. We've been together for 4 years already. She agreed to come to couples therapy because she changed completely after inheriting her father's fortune and became selfish. She will realize that I'm doing the right thing. He also said, my girlfriend pays the bigger portion of our bills. We moved into one of her father's apartments, and since she has way more money than me now, we agreed not so long ago that she would pay for it. She has some problems with being selfish with her inheritance. For example, how she kept in secret how much exactly her father has left and how she sold most of it. How she sold most of it already?
Probably like the properties.
Oh, yeah, okay. He also said in most cases, men who earn more and have more assets have no problem with their women living comfortably. So why everyone wants me to feel bad? Okay, one more thing he said. He said, we've been together for 4 years. She has more money now, way more. It's only natural that she pays more. You can't bully me into believing otherwise. Okay, so why are you asking for advice? Because you're clearly not taking the advice. I hate it when people on here do that. And so many people do that. They're like, listen, guys, I know I'm right. And you guys aren't going to convince me otherwise. Then why are you posting on relationship advice? And would I be the asshole for doing this? And when they tell you, yeah, you're a fucking asshole. They're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to come here with an open mind. So OP's girlfriend sold her father's home, gifted the money that she profited off selling that home to her mother. And OP's like, should I report it for tax evasion because she hasn't paid income tax on it?
Is a gift income tax though?
I think depending on how big of a gift it is, I think you do have to pay tax on it. But that's not income tax because it's not like you're working for it. It was a gift.
Yeah, it's...
So I think that's what he was asking for. Like, he that's why he said he's gonna contact a lawyer. First of all, it's none of your fucking business. How is it affecting you? And my other thing too is, very obviously, I believe the mother and daughter cannot hide that this money exchange has gone on. I feel like she's paying taxes on it.
Yeah, we don't even know like if it's been like a full year, like a full tax season since this happened. Because when she files her taxes, if she doesn't report that as income, I mean, they're obviously going to flag that, right?
Yeah, I was going to say or if they don't flag it, but they're like, this bitch is spending money. She has a yacht now. Then the IRS is going to be like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
But it's also like, yeah, why is it any of your business? You don't pay tax on it right away. You report it with your fucking taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah, the way I'm reading this is like the girlfriend gifts it to her mother, and the day after, he's like, well, you didn't pay tax on that. like what?
Like, bro, you are so concerned about money that's not yours. I think it is because he's mad that his girlfriend sold the home, didn't give him any money.
Well, yeah,
gave
he is
it to
mad
his
about
mom,
it, yeah.
and now her mom is like, break up with him. He's evil. He's a gold digger because he is a gold digger.
Yeah.
This sounds like all he's interested in.
And he thinks that the mom is projecting, what did he say? She is projecting her own wrongdoings on me. So he thinks that the mom is not worthy, greedy, and a gold digger.
Bro, you were literally complaining that your girlfriend got all this money. And here, the other thing about like not splitting bills evenly, if you both have agreed that, okay, I make more or she makes more, she'll pay more, okay, fine. But it's like, usually half and half is pretty fair. Like, who cares who has that much money?
Yeah, but it looks like, so in the first post, he said that they were splitting the bills. But in this one,
it sounds like he probably bullied his girlfriend enough that she finally was caved and was like, fine, I'll pay majority of it. Probably because he just bitched and whined about it for so long that she just got fed up with hearing the same argument.
Yeah, he did say we agreed not that long ago that she would pay for it. So that was probably between the first post and the second post because they're about a month apart. Well, that's not it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What's the karma?
Well, it must be in this one because this is the last. Okay. Well, there's a few edits in this post, but so this one, we're back on relationship advice again. The title of the last update is, my girlfriend gave me an ultimatum after my request to change our therapist due to them both ganging up on me during our sessions. Okay,
Man-child.
Me and my girlfriend started therapy a few months ago. Our relationship went through a rough patch. We were both at fault and decided to work on it instead of calling it quits. Our therapist is a very renowned one, so I had high hopes for this. The first few meetings went well, but then he started to be weirdly invested in our relationship. After those...
Oh, wow.
Wow, the couple's therapist is asking about your relationship. Okay. After those first few meetings, I think 2 or 3, I don't remember, he suggested that we both need separate therapy with different specialists to work on ourselves and not just focus on our relationship. I refused as I see no reason to go into therapy myself. Well, there you go. We went just for a couples counseling anyway. But as I said, he grew overly interested, especially in my girlfriend's well-being, as he put it, and brought up individual therapy each time we went. I wanted to change our therapist, but my girlfriend was really against the idea, to the point of being mad at me for even suggesting it, which I also found weird. She eventually started her individual therapy per his suggestion. It's been a month. She's going to see her therapist every week, while we go to our therapist for couples counseling at least once a month. And I just want to say she changed. Not in a good way, actually. She started to be more nitpicky, argumentative, accusatory even. She would pick up a fight over something, then bring it up in our session, have our therapist agree with her, and then they both gang up on me. The most recent example is from a week ago when I had finally had enough. We had a mutual agreement about our living situation. We split bills unevenly, which means she pays more since she has more money than me anyway. It was never a problem for her before, but suddenly it is. And then our therapist is like, it's an unfair, burdensome, etc. So I told my girlfriend that either we change our therapist or I don't want to go. To which she replies that either we go to this therapist or we break up. I think breaking up over my request is a huge overreaction, but she refuses to even have a normal discussion with me, saying things like eye for an eye, ultimatum for an ultimatum. I'm at a loss. Was my request really so unreasonable? Is there even a way to salvage this? I need some help. Maybe anyone has any idea on how to approach this issue without my girlfriend going into an ultimatum mode?
It sounds like you need to just grow up and take the criticism.
Yeah, this guy, okay. So, so when somebody is like, this person keeps telling me that maybe I should see a therapist. You know what? But they're wrong. And especially when somebody says, my couples therapist says that maybe I should go to therapy for myself, but I don't think he's right. I think he is right. I think the therapist is right.
Yeah. This dude sounds like it sounds like what he wanted is he wanted to go to couples therapy and have what he says is happening to him is have him and the therapist gang up on the girlfriend to give him money and stuff.
Yeah, he just wanted the therapist to tell him that he's right and she's wrong.
Yeah.
Just to have some validation for himself, because his head is like so far up his ass that like it's insane that he could write all this out and be like, well, yeah.
Like, and then he's like, and now my girlfriend's going to therapy and now she's really putting her foot down. It's like, yeah, she's not letting you bully her anymore. Yeah. She's noticed.
He's like, my girlfriend's going to therapy and she won't put up with my bullshit anymore. What do I do, guys?
Yeah, she's nitpicking.
That's basically what this post is.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a terrible person and my girlfriend is now realizing it. What do I do to save this?
Yeah. It sounds like, too, when he's like, she's nitpicking, she's probably just telling you to do your own laundry, because it doesn't sound like this dude does any chores. Like, oh, that's so nitpicky, huh? She pays majority of the bills, does your laundry, all of the chores around the house. Like, wow, surprise, surprise.
And he says for her paying all the bills that it was never a problem for her before.
Yes,
okay, but it just was 4 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So
she literally
it was a problem before. And also, okay, you also have to factor in that we're reading this all as like one thing, but he just posted this like as a post by itself. Mm-hmm. So those people don't have the context of these previous two posts that he was going to report for tax evasion and all this other stuff. So, but Redditors are smart, and it seems like they figured out his previous post, because his first edit says, since everyone is bringing up my past mistakes in previous posts, yes, I know I was wrong for this, but we were supposed to work this out in therapy. I thought we were on relationship advice, and the sub was about, well, advice. Why is everyone choosing to ignore the issues stated in this post? Because your post, he's saying, well, just answer what's in the post. Don't worry about the previous post. But those posts have context for what is happening here. Yeah. That is literally the lead up to this.
Yeah.
So that context is important.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that has nothing to do with this. It's a completely separate thing. It's not. It has everything to do with this. Mm-hmm. Because if you just read it as like just that, you might be able to see it as, oh yeah, maybe the therapist is coming after him. But if you just look at that, you don't have any of the context of he's just trying to get the money from the girlfriend and refuses to pay any bills and all that. So
yeah. If you don't have the context of all the other posts he made, you could very easily see this as, oh yeah, maybe the therapist is ganging up on him. So it's like, no, bro, they can't just look at it for this one post, because then they aren't giving you an honest, truthful advice. because the advice doesn't pertain to just that post.
He said like it's not important because we're supposed to go to work this out like in therapy. So that past stuff is not important, but he's not willing to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Even from what is written here, he is not willing on his part to work this out because he believes that he is not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
He 100% believes that he is not to blame for any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wanted to go to therapy to be like, yeah, see this woman BS over here?
Yeah.
See, wasn't I right about that, doc?
Yeah. He's probably going to look up like therapist that always agrees with the man. You know? Worst therapists out there.
He's gonna be a therapist who's a 60-year-old conservative man.
Yeah. Yeah.
His second edit is asking here was a mistake. I will have fun reporting your private messages to me for harassment. Now he's just so salty.
Reddit doesn't agree with me.
Okay, the only thing he said that was true is asking here was a mistake. Yeah, that was true. He would have been better off if he didn't ask in any of these.
Yeah.
He has another edit after that one. He said, well, I don't know who did this or why, but someone not only found me on Facebook, but also went through my profile, I guess, to find my girlfriend and linked her to my Reddit. Yeah, not to this post, but my whole account and my previous post. Do you feel better now? Are you going to sleep any better? I hope you're proud of yourself for ruining our relationship and probably making me homeless. Good thing is I don't have to go to therapy anymore since she's not going to pay for it anymore. Oh my God.
That is the funniest thing ever. This is why Redditors, you need to be safe on Reddit.
This is why you need to be anonymous on Reddit.
Oh my God. How did they find him?
I can't believe he still can't blame himself for this relationship falling apart though. He has to blame it on the Redditors.
He's like, thanks a lot, guys. You ratted me out to my girlfriend and now she's mad and broken up with me and threw me out of the apartment that she owns that was her dead dad's.
He also left a few other comments about that. He said, but if she breaks up with me, I'll become homeless since I'm not working currently and can't afford rent for now. As I said, it's way more complicated. I bet you he quit his job after she came across all this money. He's like, babe, I don't have to work anymore, right?
You're rich. You have 5 apartments and you just sold a house. But you gave all the money to your mom. So I'm going to report her for tax evasion and maybe they'll give me some money.
He also said, I could move back to my parents' house, but they're not rich, so I'd probably need to drop out from uni to work full time until I save some money. My whole life will crumble, not just our relationship.
Okay, hold on. So was he expecting her to pay for his uni?
Probably.
I'm going to have to drop out of university because I can't afford it now.
So,
What?
Okay, with that context, now I'm thinking that this guy was literally just like sitting at home playing Call of Duty all day.
Oh, yeah.
And just wanted to be with her so that he could just do that for his whole life.
Yeah, it doesn't have to pay rent. He's a gold digger. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is like literally the definition
Of a gold digger.
because he is so reliant on her money that he's saying he will become homeless without her money.
And he doesn't want to move back to his unrich parents' house.
He's like,
Because he'll have to get a job.
He's like, I can move back to my parents' place, but they're not rich. So like, I don't know what I'm going to do, guys.
I can't pay for my uni and then I have to get a full-time job. And it's like, then I have to drop out of university. It's like, okay.
He's sounding like a kid that's like, I can move back to my parents' place, but they're pretty broke. They don't have any Robux. Anyways, our next story comes from Malicious Compliance. I don't think we've done one from this one before, but the title is Enforce the Rules? Sure. I have an employee who kicks ass and works hard. He has never failed to exceed the goals I set for him, and he is setting records for the amount of value he is bringing to the company. He has an incredible work ethic and almost never takes a break. I actually have to remind him a few times every week that he needs to clock off for lunch, and he begrudgingly does it. A few weeks ago, one of my bosses came downstairs and saw him checking Twitter. He got laid into and had his job threatened. And then when I got called upstairs for 20 minutes of being yelled at, I was told that I needed to crack the whip and make sure we were getting the amount of work that we were paying him for. I took this personally. This is my best worker, and if my boss had come to me first, I would have explained why I don't micromanage him. I went back down and pulled him aside for a quick meeting. I told him that if anyone came down while he was looking at social media, Reddit, etc., and asked him, is this work related? His answer should be, no, I'm on my 10-minute break. And then he needed to stop working for the next 9 minutes, even if he wasn't on his phone. He should immediately take a 10 whenever my boss walked in. We are legally entitled to 2 10-minute breaks every shift, and the company allows us to take them whenever we want. So instead of him using his phone for 1 minute every couple hours, he was taking 2 full paid breaks. My boss realized what was happening pretty quickly. And to his credit, he called both of us upstairs and apologized for trying to micromanage us without taking into account the individual working styles. He was promised that his job was safe, and I promised that I'd be in charge of my team as long as we continued to perform at the level we have been. Okay. There's an edit, but is this like an update? Okay, I'll just read the edit now. They said to clear up something that's been brought up repeatedly. This wasn't some fairy tale happy ending where the boss is revealed to be a good guy all along. I think it was good of him to apologize, and I'm glad he pulled back. But he's not a great boss. He's usually not that bad, but he's not the kind of guy who anyone particularly likes working with. The company recently grew big enough that they hired a CFO, and this incident was one of several warning signs that it is turning into a toxic work environment. I am actively looking for a new job. So anytime the boss would come down and see somebody on their phone, they would take a 10-minute break.
Well, it sounds like it mainly pertained to this one employee. So like OP is the manager of, we'll just call him Jason for now. And the big boy boss came down, saw Jason was on his phone checking Twitter, screamed at Jason and threatened he was going to lose his job, pulled OP up and was like, Jason sucks, like crack the whip on this bitch. Crazy thing to say in my opinion. and then OP went down and was like, yo, Jason, he's being a bitch. You never take your breaks, so start taking your 10-minute breaks whenever he comes down or someone catches you on your phone.
Wait, I thought it was anytime he would come downstairs, you would take a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's taking like more than 2 10-minute breaks in total.
I'm assuming he probably isn't, because I'm assuming that the big boy boss doesn't come down more than 2 times a day.
Okay, because he wasn't taking his breaks before.
Yeah, he was.
And now, instead of taking 1 minute to be on like Twitter, he's taking the 2 full
10-minute breaks instead of
which the boss
periodically
is like paying for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So periodically going on his phone for like a minute. Now, if someone higher up catches him on his phone or big boy boss comes down, he takes a full 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's not that crazy. But
No. But big boy boss had to eat his words because he was like, Jason never took 20-minute breaks, his 20-minute break. So now he is, and that sucks.
So this boss is, I guess, someone who doesn't know who his employees are.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't know that this is like his best
Top
employee
performing.
and is mad that he's on his phone for like 2 seconds.
See, that's always so crazy to me. Like, here's my thing. As long as you're getting your work done,
Yeah,
I don't give a shit if
doesn't
you're
matter.
looking at your phone. Like, as long as things aren't being pushed off and not getting done, like, if you can get everything done that needs to be done and you're on your phone for like 5 minutes, I don't give a flying fuck. I'm not even a manager. Like, I just don't care.
Because I think a lot of managers, they want you to like look busy and like look like you're doing something, even if you're not like doing anything. But it's like that doesn't matter. Like actual productivity, like what you're doing matters, not if you look busy or not.
Yeah.
And also him like threatening to fire him just for that.
Yeah,
Come
coming
on.
down, catching him once on his phone was enough grounds for you to be like, your job's at risk, pal. Damn.
Yeah, and I bet you if their best employee is doing this, he's definitely not. Everyone else is probably
100%.
doing it as well.
100%.
Okay, but it is good that he's like actually taking the break that he's supposed to
Well,
take.
oh yeah, no shit.
Like, because before he just wasn't
Yeah, no.
taking his break, which take breaks.
Oh yeah.
Guys, take breaks.
Take the if you have an hour lunch, take a whole hour. Like, I hate people, like, I get it, but like if you are told that you can take an hour off for lunch, take the whole hour.
Yeah, just do it.
Like, it's a job, okay? If they're mad at you about something that's written in your contract, then they need to grow up.
Yeah, and I know it's such a, like a lot of people are like, well, I don't want my break to be too long because then I don't want to go back to work. then I won't want to go back to work afterwards. And I'm like, there's such like a sign of the culture that we live in this country of like, well, I don't want to take a break for too long because I need to work. I just need to keep working and working.
Yeah, they're like, the work is piling up. I don't give a shit what's piling up when I'm gone on my lunch.
Yeah.
I can go home. I've never understood this too. Like, I go home from work, I don't think about work. Right when I walk out the doors at the end of the day, I walk out those doors and I get in my car and I sit down. I'm like, okay, time to go home. I don't think about any of the work that I left for myself, anything that happened.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I'll be like, damn, that was kind of a stressful day. And I'll like quickly relive it all and be like, here's a mental list of what I have to do tomorrow. But I do that when I'm in my car. And then I go home and I don't think about work.
Yeah, and so many people they do work related stuff outside of like actual working hours. You know, they're like emailing people and
you don't get paid for that.
I know, and it's just like why it's such an American thing, honestly.
It is, and I hate it. I hate when I look and I see emails from people on like the weekends and stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not mad that they emailed me. I'm just mad that they are wasting their time to send an email on like a Saturday, Sunday evening at like 8 p.m. Get off the computer, bro.
Yeah.
Everything can wait. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Take your time. You're not looking like a better employee. I mean, some companies might, but the reason you look like a better employee is because they're overworking you and they know they are.
Yeah.
They know that, oh, this person doesn't like to take her lunches, so we're just going to give her more work because she works right through it. It ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
I take my full lunch because that is what I deserve to take. That is my time. That's my break. I clock out at the end of the day because I'm done with work.
Yeah, that was pretty baseline for malicious compliance.
Yeah. That wasn't really compliance either, if you think about it. That was just like a petty.
Yeah, that was more like kind of just like slightly petty. I wouldn't even call it revenge, just like just slight pettiness, honestly.
Because compliance would be really cracking the whip.
Cracking the whip would be if the boss came down, like when the boss would come down, this original poster would be like, "Are you on your 10-minute break?"
Yeah, or firing the employee. You caught on your phone again? Get the fuck out!
Yeah.
You know? And then you quit as well, and you fuck the whole company over. That's what I see as malicious compliance.
Or he just ends up firing everybody.
You're on your phone. You're on your phone. Get out.
Yeah, that would.
And then check your own phone and be like, I'm on my phone.
Like,
I gotta go.
I'm out. That would have been malicious compliance.
That would have been. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, well, this next one comes from Best of Reddit Updates. Was originally posted on Petty Revenge. Yeah. So we'll see if this one actually.
You guys know I love my petty revenge.
Lives up to it. Title reads: Neighbor was petty on property limits. Oh, neighbors and property lines. That's always
painting
something.
Houses and chopping down trees.
This is probably over like one little patch of like grass that's like contested or something.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is my grass. No.
You're not mowing it. Stop mowing it.
Well, let's see what's going on here. So, a neighbor was petty on property limits. Now I'm going to make him replace his whole fence. When my contractor installed the fence around my property, he made a mistake and went over the property line by 4 centimeters. Along my neighbor's hedge. My neighbor made a fuss of it, even dragged us to court. We lost, obviously. He was petty, but that's the law. However, we found out today that his dog is amongst the dangerous breeds, so his fence should be 2 meters high with a concrete base around all of his property. Turns out the current one is 1 meter. No, wait, how would you 1 meter 40 centimeters? Is that how you would say that?
I think so.
Because it says 1m40. Yeah, because 100 centimeters is a meter, right?
Yeah.
But is that how you say that? You say it 1 meter 40 centimeters, or you just say 1 meter 40?
I'd say 1 meter 40 because I feel like people would understand that.
Okay.
Because we say 1 foot 4.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's 1.4 meters. That's probably an easier way to say it. Yeah. Okay. So turns out the current one is 1.4 meters with no base. Guess what complaint I'm going to file with the police? I have 3 small kids who like to play in the yard, and he has trained his dog to bark whenever they go outside. He's a heinous guy. For real. That's okay. So there's an edit on the first post. Yeah, I see quite a few people saying I encroached on his land. To be completely clear, we're talking 4 centimeters in a 10-meter line. So that's 0.4 square meters. My contractor told me he wouldn't move it because that's in the margin of error for plans. And it's along a fucking hedge. Edit to the edit because I just woke up. Brain, no work. Good. Okay. Last edit before I let this die down. This is still from the first post. I wasn't set on revenge, like I said. We lost fair and square because law is law. But since he always yelled about the law and his rights, what a hypocrite to abstain from mentioning he is in violation too. So since we are both in violation of property limit law, I'm only making sure we all end in compliance.
I agree with that. Here's my thing. 4 centimeters is small. I feel like I would not be mad, especially if like my neighbor, if I was good with my neighbor, you know, like I knew my neighbor, and I would not along a hedge too. So it's not like they're going over the hedge. I wouldn't be mad. Maybe if like they were selling the property, then I might mention like, hey, your fence is technically on my property. Like, can we either move the fence or remove the fence, you know, just fix it, just so it doesn't get all stuck in with the new neighbor, you know, causing problems. But I mean, I wouldn't really care.
Okay, but what is he
At the end
mad
of the
about?
day.
He got a new fence for free.
It's on his it's on his property, Julian.
Yeah, but it's like you got a new fence for free. Like okay, and also we're talking about 4 centimeters here. So you can't just look at the fence and say, that's 4 centimeters over my property
Yeah,
line.
he
Does that mean
definitely-
he went out and measured and said, this is 4 centimeters in my property line?
The thing is, maybe if it was like 4 feet or 4 meters or whatever is the equivalent, then okay, yeah. 4 fucking centimeters. 4 fucking centimeters. We're really getting our panties in a tinsel for that.
And here's the thing too, is now since it is on his property, it's his fence now, right? Which is why
I don't think it's his fence.
but that's what the guy's doing here because he took them to court and OP lost. So that means
I'm assuming he took him to court and was like, he's infringing on my property. And therefore OP is gonna have to either take down the fence or move the fence.
well, then how would he be able to make a complaint that the fence is now not tall enough because he has a dog?
No, it's so OP has a fence around his yard. It was 4 centimeters over on the guy's line.
Oh, is this a different fence that he's...
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's saying his neighbor has a fence, but his fence doesn't meet the requirements because of his dog and his dog's breed. So OP is going to complain about his neighbor's fence now.
Okay.
So neighbor complained about OP's fence. Now OP is complaining about neighbor's fence.
Okay. I thought we were talking about the same fence here. Okay, so it's a different fence.
Yes.
Well, there's an update from... Okay, but I don't know if it's real because it was posted on April 1st.
Ooh.
The first post was March 11th. The update's on April 1st. So let's see if this seems believable or not. Surveyor came today to install the new boundary markers. And in a very happy for us twist, they were actually stealing more land from us than we were from them, just on the other stretch of our shared limit. Their fence was off by 2 degrees over 17 meters, meaning overall, they took over our property by 5.1 square meters. And the back of their shed is too close to the line of the new survey, according to zoning regulation. We are laughing. It's hysterical for us that they went through all the trouble of making us pay for a survey over 0.4 square meters, but are going to end up losing part of theirs. Maybe have to tear their shed. Not sure yet if we are going to be magnanimous on this point and report them on that. And of course, the dog-proof fencing all around the property. So to all the people saying I was stealing from them, I hope you have enough stones to throw their way too. Okay, so actually their property, the neighbor's property was encroaching more on his property than that little fence that he put in.
So the neighbor was taking more.
So they're going to end up losing more.
Yeah. So basically it kind of almost evens out, you know. We get these 4 inches, you know, of...
Well, no, because what the neighbor was contesting was 0.4 square meters, and theirs encroaches into OP's 5.1 square meters. So that's like 4 or 5 times the amount of land. I mean, it's still not a lot, but
I take
like
him to court. I'd take them to court and I'd make them rip their shit down.
So
and put that fence up.
And it's because of it's because of their fence. So they have to get.
That's so funny. Well.
It always goes back to the fence, I guess. Interesting fun fact in the comments here. The reason so many Quebec property lines are badly delineated is that the property lines are all perpendicular to the average course of the nearest river as it was surveyed in 1700. And in a drunken surveyor, the bane of all Canadian property issues, downtown Calgary is 3 degrees out of true, literally because the first city surveyor was a drunk who added 7 and 5 and got 15. And crude instruments, and it's surprising that there isn't a subreddit dedicated to the issue. So this all happened because some guy was drunk in 1700.
And surveyed horribly.
Yeah.
They need to just hire a new surveyor to come out and
They
fix
just need to resurvey all of Quebec, actually.
Literally. That's actually so funny to think of.
So he added 7 and 5 and got 15. Well, and also, okay, so the other thing is he has to live next to this guy, and they hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be at war forever. I mean, I think this is probably going to end with one of them painting the other's house when they're on vacation.
Yeah.
And this is probably where that story started. Is because of this. So our next story comes from Best of Reddit Updates, of course. Originally posted on True Off My Chest. Title reads, "My husband's open marriage suggestion backfired on him." Does that surprise anybody?
And maybe this is the same story, but I've seen so many stories like this.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Original post is from June 26, 2024. "My husband, Leo, 34-year-old guy, and I, 30-year-old female, have been together for 7 years, married for 4 of them. We don't have any kids and we don't intend to. 2 years ago, Leo asked me for an open marriage. I was devastated at the time. I couldn't understand why he didn't just want me. I couldn't even comprehend the idea of sharing him either. He just gave me the same song and dance a lot of men give their spouses, swore up and down that he loved me. I just wasn't fulfilling his needs. He needed more than what I could give. It was just to spice up our life. It was just sex, etc., etc. I did ask if there was someone else. He said no. To this day, I'm still not sure if I believed him, but at this time, I was angry and hurt and said no. He pestered me to change my mind for a week before giving me an ultimatum: open marriage or divorce. I chose the open marriage. I just couldn't bear the thought of him leaving me at the time. We have rules. We can't bring any partners home. We have to get tested for STDs every 3 months. And 1 weekend out of the month must be left free for us time. Any money we spend on/with our partners must come from our personal accounts. I didn't partake in the open marriage for myself for the first 3 months. Leo obviously did right away. He seemed to be gone or out late almost all the time, but he always acted so happy and loving towards me when I felt like I was dying inside. It killed me to think he was sleeping with other women, and I feel so lonely and unattractive and not good enough. I told my sister, Katie, 26-year-old female, and a few close friends everything. Katie told me to just play the game and be part of the open marriage too. If he can sleep around, so could I. I honestly didn't have much confidence in myself at the time. I'm a bit overweight and I've never considered myself conventionally pretty. I was afraid this would just humiliate me further. Katie and my best friend Jessie, 30-year-old female, set up my online dating profiles for me. I got so many matches that it was overwhelming. When I told Leo, he was surprised, but he told me to do whatever I thought was best. Jesse helped me choose my first date, and I actually had a great time. He didn't pressure me for sex and took me out to drinks and dinner. We did have sex eventually, but it was all just casual, and we didn't see each other after a couple months of casual dating. The first guy really made me feel more confident in myself, so I kept going on dates with men. A lot of them wanted to treat me, so I didn't have to spend much of my own money. Not only that, but some of the men have been giving me the best sex I've ever had in my life. Almost like the kind of sex you read in romance novels. It's been amazing. I'm currently seeing 2 different men alongside Leo. One, Mark, 38-year-old male, is more of a steady boyfriend I've been with for about 6 months, and the one, Steven, 25-year-old male, is very casual, mostly just hanging out and sex. They know about my open marriage/other relationships and are fine with it. My husband has not been so lucky. In the beginning, he definitely was. He was always out and about and didn't seem to care even when I started dating too. But now he just complains a lot and hasn't been going out much. He whines about how he's usually the one spending money. A lot of the women he tries to be with want an emotional connection before sex. He often wants to be with younger women, but they want younger men. He's also been upset that I go out with random guys so often while he's at home alone all the time. He hasn't asked to close the marriage yet, but I feel like he will soon. He keeps saying he misses us and wants to spend more time together. He tried to initiate sex a lot more too. He wants to go on dates and go on vacations and all that stuff and more. And he gets upset when I tell him I can't because I've already scheduled to do stuff with my partners. Mostly Mark. Honestly, I don't think I love Leo anymore. I care about him, but I just don't love him. I'm not saying I love Mark or Steven, but I honestly feel closer to Mark nowadays than I do Leo. Mark makes me feel comfortable and safe, and I love spending time with him more than my own husband. Steven is funny and sweet and really good at sex. Katie and Jesse have been wanting me to divorce for a year now, but I was afraid of hurting him and thought I still loved him. But I think my love for him died when he asked for this open marriage in the first place. Seeing him get all pissy about it now just because he's not benefiting from it is also a turnoff for me too. But I don't know if divorce is the best option. I still care about him and I still don't want to hurt him. Maybe if he finally asks to close the marriage, we can talk about it then. So that's the first post.
I don't know, girl. I think you're living your life. Do
Yeah.
you really want to have horrible sex with this dude and
Fuck no.
be tied down? Hell no.
Mm-mm.
Hell no. He fucked around and he found out is what happened. He
Yeah.
probably already had someone at like work or something. That's why he wanted to open the marriage. You know, like a secretary. He was like, oh, a work wife. That's why he wanted it opened. And then she got sick and tired of him. Tinder got sick and tired of him because he's clearly bad at sex. You know, you can't really hook up with people and then be bad at sex and then expect them to keep wanting you. So, you know, the cookie crumbled for him and he's now mad that you are going and getting pounded and living your best life.
Yeah, this is almost exactly like how all of these on Reddit go.
Yeah, it is because, and she's right, men usually pay for, you know, the meals and stuff. So yeah, the guy, your husband, is just salty that you're getting free meals, free drinks, free stuff, good sex, and he can't get anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just a skill issue. He's just not.
Yeah, he should just become a twink.
Yeah, I mean, Leo says that he wanted an open marriage because he swore up and down that he loved me, but I just wasn't fulfilling his needs and he needed more than what I can give him. I'm like, okay, well, that's a reason to divorce, not to just to have sex with other people.
Yeah.
Like,
it sounds like he doesn't want to be taken.
and an ultimatum of, well, it's open marriage or divorce.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's what, like, the first post we looked at, that's what he was basically thinking his ultimatum was. You know? Like,
If your choices are open marriage and divorce, I think divorce is probably.
yeah.
I hope she divorced him. Let's see, though, because we have an update from. So that was June 26th. So this is July 3rd. So like a week later. Well, update reads, "Hi, everyone. I got so many comments and messages on my last post, which got deleted for some reason, that I was a bit overwhelmed, especially when a lot of you kept saying the same thing, divorce, divorce, divorce. But the thing is, I think part of me still loves my husband. I know in the last post, I didn't think I loved him anymore, but I can't just forget about the things that I do love. I love when he sings in the shower. I love when he laughs so hard he snorts. I love when he kisses my forehead when I've had a bad day. I love when he holds my hand when we watch TV together. Leo has done a lot of shitty things, but he really isn't the big asshole people think. Maybe that was my fault. But even if I do still love him, I'm not in love with him anymore. I don't think I've been for a while. I care about him, and a part of me does still love him, but you were all right. I should have just divorced him when he gave me that ultimatum in the first place. This past Saturday, we had the big talk. I initiated it, but he didn't seem too surprised. I just told him that I noticed he didn't seem to like me going out with Mark or Steven and asked if there was a problem. He said there was, but he didn't ask me to close the marriage. He just asked me if I still loved him. I said something like, not like I used to. He broke down crying, which made me cry. I guess he had known for a while that I wasn't in love anymore, but he had hoped he could win me back in if he funneled all of his energy into me. I was honest and told him that during those first 3 months of our open marriage, I think my love for him died and I just couldn't get it back. I did tell him that I still cared about him and that I did love him, but it's not the same as it was. He asked if I loved Mark or Steven, and I said no. I like being with them and I care about them a lot, but I can't say I'm in love with either of them. I also finally asked him why he wanted the open marriage in the first place. A lot of you in the comments said he had already had someone lined up, and you were right. He had someone at work he was interested in, and she wanted him to.
Mm-hmm.
The open marriage was just to get permission. He honestly never expected me to also get my own partners because of how unconfident I was.
Oh my God.
It
writes itself.
Yep. He honestly, but he didn't want to stop me either because he thought nothing would come of it. He didn't really like me seeing other men, but he knew it wouldn't have been fair to tell me no when I gave him permission first. I guess Mark and Steven made him insecure because I was spending so much time with them on a regular basis. The open marriage was just sex on the side for him. He only did hookups and they never lasted long. He genuinely always just loved only me, but he thought I was falling in love with my partners and he was losing me and wanted to win me back. We cried a lot and talked a lot. We decided to get a divorce. Since the house is in my name, I'm going to move out and live with... the house is in his name, sorry. I'm going to move out and live with Katie for a while. He told me I didn't have to and I could stay until the divorce was finalized, but I just can't. It's too hard to even look at him sometimes. I don't know how I feel, to be honest. I thought I would be relieved or sad, but I'm just tired. I wish it could have been like you all wanted me to be, clapping back or being sarcastic and snarky or rubbing it in his face. But I don't feel like I've won anything. I just feel lost.
Damn. What did I say? He probably had someone at work lined up.
Yeah, wow. I thought it was going to be a little bit different this time, that maybe he didn't have someone, but of course he fucking did. It's just, it's so cliche at this point that it's just.
I mean, I'm sad for her because, it is tough. You think your life's going so good, all of a sudden your husband asks for an open marriage, and then, you don't want it. He forces it on you.
But now she can actually get divorced from him and she has 2 guys to go back to.
Yeah, but it's still not like a good thing.
I know.
It's like, clearly she still, to a degree, likes her husband.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would have worked even if they didn't open a marriage.
No.
So.
I mean, it seems like most of the time when you start with a monogamous relationship and try to make it open, that almost never works.
Yeah, no.
It either needs to start as being like an open relationship in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I just found? There's a link to another update at the end of that. I didn't think there would be another one, but this one's from June 26, 2024. So that's like almost a year later. Oh, no. It's the same year. It's from later that month.
Mm.
Okay, so there's more to the story, actually.
Oh my God.
I guess there's more stuff that he did. I'm going to try to summarize a little bit. So she starts off by saying that the divorce has been pretty amicable and it's been easy splitting everything because there was a prenup. But he admitted that there was more to it than he admitted. And this is what he explained to me. And I have decided to believe him. Even if he's lying, it doesn't really matter anymore since we're getting divorced. I also just have little energy to care about the details at this point. According to him, this is the timeline. He was posting Reddit about his kinks for advice and such, which I did know about beforehand. He was getting messages from this one user, and they just kept talking back and forth. He mentions my name to the user in the conversation, which he let me read. During his lunch break, his coworker, I'll call her Mary, approaches him and asks if he uses Reddit and asks about his hand. Oh my God, is this? He confirms, and then Mary tells her he's the user he's been talking to.
Oh my God.
They start talking more and more in real life as friends and eventually start talking through Instagram. He also showed me these conversations. The conversations were mostly just memes and jokes with occasional flirts / mentioning of kinks. At one point, she says, it's too bad he's not single. This is when he decided to demand the open marriage because Mary was clearly into him and into the same kinks, and she could sexually satisfy him since I was unable to. That's basically how he said it anyway.
What kind of fucking kinks does he have? What the fuck?
My God. Truth be told, we did have some difficulties, bed difficulties before the open marriage was brought up. I'm very vanilla, and he discovered his kinks after we were married. I tried them all for him, but I just couldn't get into it, and he didn't like seeing me struggle, so he didn't try to bring them into the bedroom again after it was obvious I didn't like it. So we did have sexual compatibility issues. Maybe we were doomed to fail even without the open marriage ultimatums. Okay. Seems like the rest of it is just about her family. The families. Okay, yeah, the rest of it's just about her. Whatever.
Oh,
just about her family. Whatever. Who cares? So, okay,
what
so
a fucking coincidence.
how do you come across somebody on Reddit that happens to work in the same place that you do and you interact with them on a daily basis?
Unless he was like posting specific in his cities, like fucking Reddit.
What is it, like King Chicago? Like what?
Probably, you know.
That's actually insane.
That, and my thing is like, how would the coworker? Because like, what if the coworker was wrong?
Yeah.
Like, what if she was like, "Is your Reddit handle this?" And the guy's like, "No." Oh, sorry.
Yeah. What if she came up to him and was like, "Hey, do you post in r/King Chicago?" And she was wrong.
And the guy's like, "No." She's like, "Put your wife's name as like Sarah or whatever."
Oh well, yeah. She would have had to known it was him because he talked about his wife in the chats.
First of all, who names drop? Hold on, I'm gonna fucking die.
Oh.
Or maybe the coworker, what was her name? Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Mary was stalking him.
It could have been.
Maybe that was her kink.
Stalking.
Stalking.
Stalking is pretty hot though. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke. Okay. Partially, but okay, the latest update. There's 3 other updates after this one. We don't have time to read them all, but the latest update is from February 21st, 2026. Those original posts were in 2024. She's been updating this for like the past 2 years.
Damn, girl. What'd she say? What happened? Is the divorce over?
Okay, so the one that we just read was from September 2nd, 2024. The one after that is from January 18th, 2025. So they're officially divorced now. Okay, I skipped over that family stuff in the last one, but I guess that was kind of important because it turns out she thinks if it wasn't for her mom, she never would have agreed to the open marriage. And a lot of people thought that it was Leo that ruined her self-esteem, but it was actually her mom. So I'm guessing there was more details about that in the last post that I didn't read. Also, she said, at first Leo wanted to be friends, but therapist said she should just close the door on him completely. She says, this will probably be my last update. And then there's like 3 updates after that. Okay, so then the next one's February 5th, 2026. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
No, what happened?
Oh, no.
What
Oh,
happened?
no. This is, oh, no. Oh, God. I'm going to have to read this because this is just so bad.
Is Mark seeing Leo?
No. My ex-husband, I don't even think I can say this on YouTube. I'm going to have to bleep it out. My ex-husband tried to commit because of me, and now he wants to meet. How do I navigate this?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I didn't know this story had so many updates.
Because of me. That's such a crazy... It's not because of you,
Okay.
girl. You're better than this.
Okay. She says, I will try to keep this short. My ex-husband Leo and I got divorced last year in January, wanted open marriage. Okay, yeah, we all know that. It all went downhill from there. I've not had any contact with him since, though he had attempted to reach out to me several times. Last month, I found out that he had been more or less stalking my social media nearly every single day. He believed, okay, so she doesn't have a stalking kink.
Okay. He does. The fuck?
He does.
Oh, my God. That's what the kink was. I called it. The coworker and him.
He believed that because I hadn't blocked him on anything, it still meant he had a chance. Oh, God, that's so me. I hate to say it, but like...
Oh, my God, Julian.
I didn't want any misunderstanding, so I decided to block him. I didn't say anything or warn him and figured life would go on. It did not. His mother, 62-year-old woman, came to my place to scream at me and accuse me of driving him to... She more or less said that blocking him drove him over the edge, and it would have been my fault if he died. It freaked me out so badly, and I was rattled nearly for 2 weeks. Leo had been placed on 5150 and had gotten out of the ward a little while ago. I know this because I got a letter from him. He apologized for what his mother said and promised to pay for the damages, but then he asked me if we could meet one final time because he really wants to talk to me. Maybe I'm still a doormat and a people pleaser. Maybe it's because he was in my life for 12 years. Maybe it's because I still feel guilty, even though I know what he did isn't my fault. But a part of me wants to meet. The other part of me wants to pretend I never saw the letter. I legitimately don't know what to do. I keep going back and forth. I did bring up my therapist once, and she just asked me if I genuinely believe there's any benefit to meeting. I don't think there is, but that doesn't erase the fact a part of me still wants to. But what would I even say? What does he want to say? I'm also a little anxious about somehow turning back into that fully committed people pleaser again. I feel like there's a lot I want to say to him that I was too numb to say when we got divorced. I just don't know. I keep going back and forth, and my own indecision infuriates me.
See, no, don't meet him.
Oh no,
Don't
no.
meet him because one, you're. I think it would just be better for him mentally if you did not meet him.
Oh yeah.
Because if you meet him again, he could possibly get the idea that things could go back to how they were. You know, he could be like, I have a chance. That or he's gonna kill you.
And then kill himself.
Yeah, and then kill himself. So yeah, what's the benefit? What could he fucking possibly say? And shame on the mom, his mom, for going
Jesus
and blaming
Christ.
OP for his attempt or for his mental decline. What the fuck? So, you know, the mom should know that he did it to himself.
Yeah, he did this to himself.
I would tell the mom, I'd be like, you know what he did? He's fucking other bitches during our marriage. Yeah, let her 62 or however old she was heart stop right then and there. I'm telling you right now, if this last update is her meeting him, girl, you need to do better. Come on.
Yeah.
This is from all love here, girls. Don't meet him.
Do not. Even though this is in the past and it's already happened. But okay, and I also have to clarify when I said he's so mean. Okay, I was referring to the part about because someone didn't block you on everything that maybe you still have a chance with them. Not the if somebody blocks you then I'm gonna try to commit. But, well,
what's the update?
Next update's from February 21st, so it's about 2 weeks later. She says, hi again. I wasn't planning to update, but I had gotten quite a few messages with people genuinely concerned about my safety. I just want to reassure everyone that I'm perfectly safe and all is well, I promise. As for the update itself, it's nothing exciting, thankfully. I spoke to my therapist about what I wanted and what I should do. I even brought up the concerns and warnings some of you shared with me. She didn't seem very impressed that I was getting worked up by the warnings of well-intended but uninformed strangers, is how she phrased it. Genuinely, though, I do thank you for all the advice you gave, but ultimately, after speaking with my therapist, it just sort of dawned on me that I don't necessarily want closure. I didn't really even want to see him. I just wanted to scream at him. I was and still am angry and frustrated and hurt, so I didn't meet him. If I did, I would probably just vent everything out in public and look like a crazy person. Instead, I wrote a letter, handwritten, 3 pages, front and back, no line skipped. I won't share the letter with you all since there's a lot of super personal details I'm not comfortable with sharing with strangers. To summarize, though, I explained in depth how much he hurt me during our marriage. I cursed him out, called him a few names, and told him that this will be the last time he will ever hear from me. But I also told him that I hope he heals. A part of me still cares about him, or rather the good memories I have of him. He was in my life for over a decade, and I loved him for a long time. Despite everything, I wish him well and want him to be a better and happier person. We just don't need to be a part of each other's lives anymore. I dropped it off in his mailbox last Friday. I'm pretty sure he's read it. He Venmo'd me for the damages his mom caused and included a note that just said, I'm sorry. Honestly, I think that's all the closure I need. I'm sure some of you are still going to tell me to be weary and that Leo is dangerous, but I really think I'll be okay. I obviously did get some extra security for the house just to be safe, but Leo has never been a violent man. Short-sighted and selfish, sure, but not violent. As for mother, she also Venmo'd me with a note that was just a Bible verse about forgiveness. I'm not sure if she's asking me to forgive her or telling me that she forgives me, but it doesn't really matter. She's blocked too, and I don't think I'll be hearing from them anytime soon, which is exactly what I want.
How does she know Venmo?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for all your advice and concern. It means a lot.
Thank God she didn't meet him.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
God. He just doesn't know when to give up.
Wow, I was not expecting it to go there.
I'm so glad you looked to see, because what the fuck?
There's no link at the bottom of this one to any other post. So I guess that's the final update.
Resolved.
February 21st, 2026. So either Leo murdered her or she's fine.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that the therapist is just like, these are uninformed.
These
people.
are uninformed people on the internet.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think it's good, though, to be cautious for some things. Because if someone is willing to possibly kill themselves, who knows what they could do, or like the damage, just even mentally, that can do to you.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think you need to give him time and space.
No, don't give this man like time of day. And also, like, at the end of the day, this would also be better for him if he doesn't see her like not giving into his like, oh my God, I want to see you so bad. Like,
yeah.
If you give into that, that's kind of just like making it worse for him also.
Yeah.
So it's the better thing for her. It's the better thing for him in the long run. And
yeah, because you can meet up with him and tell him until you're blue in the face that you never want to see him again and stuff, but he'll still walk away and be like, oh, she saw me, so maybe next time.
Maybe this guy has...
My next attempt, she will come back.
This guy has delusional brain.
He needs a therapist, so...
Anyways, on to our final story. It comes from r/entitled people. Title reads, entitled customer demands a refund and karma got him in the end. So I was working the afternoon/evening shift as I often did. It's just a normal day, customers coming and going. Early on in my shift, entitled customer comes into the store and picks out a set of headlights that he thinks will work for his car. I offered to check and see if they were the right ones, as I didn't want him to be inconvenienced to have to do a return later if he had picked the wrong item. He declined and said he was in a hurry and he knew he had the right item and to stop wasting his time. I cashed him out and he went on his way. Before leaving, I informed him that our company policy was that if any electronic item were open, that it could not be returned. About an hour later, entitled customer comes back to the store demanding a refund that I sold him the wrong product. I again informed him the policy and asked if he had opened the product and tried to install it on his vehicle, to which he said yes. He then made a smart-ass comment about, don't you know you have to open stuff to see if it works? In no way, shape, or form did I have an attitude when I told him that if he would have let me do my job and look up the part, that he wouldn't be in this situation. Apparently, this pissed him off. He left the store for a few minutes, I assumed to calm down, then came back in and told me he bought the right product at our competitor and wanted his fucking money. I told him that I could not complete a return for him. I pointed at the return policy on the counter. He said he didn't give an F. He wanted his fucking money or there would be hell to pay. I told him he was no longer welcome at the store and he needed to leave, to which he refused. I told him that if he didn't leave, I would call the police and have him arrested for trespassing and causing a disturbance. He said, F you, call him. I don't give an F. I want my $20. It's over $20. Okay. Unbeknownst to me, coworker was already on the phone with police dispatch telling them that we had an unruly customer in the store and refused to leave. Entitled customer finally realized he wasn't going to bully me into giving him the return and started to walk out while saying, don't let me catch your bitch ass outside of here. I'm going to shoot you. Coworker was telling dispatch everything that was happening. Entitled customer finally left, and a few minutes later, I heard the crackling of a police radio in the distance. Coworker was telling the police officer that I was the one involved and to talk to me about the incident. Police officer came over to me and asked for and ran my credentials, also asking for the details of the incident. I told police officer what happened and told him we have it on security camera also. I offered to show him the incident and give him a copy as we would be pressing charges. Police officer looked at the footage of the incident and took a copy for evidence purposes. He wrote the report's name and had me, coworker, and a few other coworkers write statements as to what happened. Police officer asked if I knew entitled customer's name. I told them I did and could also provide his address and phone number as it was in our computer system for warranty purposes on other items. When I told the police officer the entitled customer's name, he said, I know who he is. He's a bad dude and not to take his threat lightly. I told him I wanted to press charges for terroristic threats, trespassing, and disorderly conduct. Towards the end of the shift, police officer came back to the store and informed me that they had arrested entitled customer on outstanding warrants and the new charges. He told me that the DA would be in touch with me about testifying in court. A few months later, the DA called and asked me to come in to their office to have a recorded interview and to bring any witness statements that I had, and I did as requested. Once the entitled customer's court date got closer and I was preparing myself to go testify, I received a call from the DA telling me the charges were dropped, that I didn't have to testify in court. I asked why entitled customer's charges were dropped, and he told me that entitled customer had made a plea deal and that the charges from his warrants were going to put him in prison for a long time. Being curious, I asked the DA what the charges were from entitled customer's warrants, and he told me I cannot release that information at this time. I asked when his court date was going to be and that I wanted to try and be there. Luckily for me, I wrote the schedule at work, so when I found out the date, I gave myself that day off. I went to court and found out that entitled customer had been charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, felon in possession of a firearm, and all the charges that go with it, and multiple drug-related charges. He was found guilty on all charges and is currently serving life without parole. After the court date, I thought to myself that somehow I had a hand in helping catch this guy. Police officer didn't know where he was until I gave them entitled customer's address, but to think that they got the information over a $20 return that couldn't be made. I know eventually the police officer would have caught him most likely over something stupid like a blown headlight. Karma wins again.
That's more than karma. That's fucking luck, because that dude...
Listen, if he didn't call the cops, that guy probably actually would have killed him.
Oh, 100%. He probably would have. They probably found him in the parking lot waiting for OP to get off of work.
That's first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder. So the charges that actually happened there have been dropped. So he murdered somebody, and he conspired to murder somebody else, not including this guy at the store that he said he was going to shoot. So life without parole, all over a $20
See, I'm just going to say, I don't know if that's karma. I just think that's pure luck.
Yeah.
You got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky that he didn't get killed. He got lucky that this guy is never getting out of prison, because this guy would probably remember that and be like,
yeah. That person put me in jail.
Yeah. But also, okay, so this guy has warrants for first-degree murder, and he's out here giving this store his address for the warranty of the thing. I'm like, you'd think you'd be a little bit smarter than that.
Nah.
Especially considering that you threatened to kill that guy and to catch his bitch ass outside.
And literally when the guy was like, OP was like, I'm going to call the cops. He's like, do it. I don't care. You would think you care a little bit if you know you have warrants out for your arrest.
Yeah.
And how can you not, how people sometimes are like, I didn't know I had a warrant. This dude did, because he killed someone.
Did. He definitely knew he had a warrant. Okay, but it's like, okay, if you have a warrant for something, it's like, how do you know, because you probably did that thing.
Yeah.
So So they think like being like, well, I didn't know. They'll be like, oh, really? Okay, well, you're free to go, man.
Yeah, go ahead, man. It's all dropped. Don't worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. Since you didn't know, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll let you off the hook. No,
that's not how it works, actually.
So it's just like, this dude was literally like, call the cops then. Sir, yeah,
the cops. Fuck around and find out. You call the cops and now you're in prison for life.
I'm glad OP is seeing this in a positive light, because I would not want to go to his court date. I would not, because it's like, I don't want him to see my fucking face, because watch him get out on parole or something. Watch him escape jail, and then he's coming looking for me.
Yeah, because at that point that he would have been testifying, and even afterwards he didn't have to testify, but he wanted to go there. That's before the sentencing, so he wouldn't have known at that point that he was going to get life without parole.
Yeah.
So
he's fucking ballsy, because I would have been like, oh my God.
And with that, those are the karma stories we have for today's episode. Okay, I think we can agree the craziest one was the husband who ended up killing him, or not killing him, almost
almost
killing himself
Over an open marriage that he
marriage.
suggested.
Yeah, because he found his fucking,
Reddit kink friend.
Yeah, that's also an insane coincidence that
Yeah.
found each other on Reddit. Well, be careful out there. Don't don't talk to anybody, because then you'll never have a chance of talking to a murderer, which I think most Redditors already take that advice. So
I was gonna say I think most Redditors don't talk to anyone.
So anyways, guys, remember to subscribe, leave a comment down below, future topics you would like to see. Remember to hit that like button. It really helps us out a lot. I think, but why don't you test it out for me? Just hit it just in case. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in next week's episode.